President Trump's national security advisor resigned under pressure late last night, highlighting larger concerns about Russia ties with the new administration and the damaging leaks that threaten to undermine the Trump administration overall. We have Fox team coverage tonight. Amy Kellogg is in Milan, Italy, with how the Russians are viewing the Trump administration turmoil. Catherine Herridge is in Washington with what the intelligence community is saying about the leaks. But we start off tonight with Chief White House correspondent John Roberts and an earlier than expected first casualty of this administration. Good evening, John.
Only 25 days. That's all it took, Brett. You know, the White House itself today invoked the old political adage, it's not the crime, it's the cover-up, acknowledging that the president's national security advisor did not come clean about telephone conversations he had with Russia's ambassador to the United States.
Fantastic job.
The president had nothing to say today about firing his national security advisor, but his press secretary revealed that Lieutenant General Michael Flynn was shown the door because Flynn had lost the president's trust.
We've been reviewing and evaluating this issue with respect to General Flynn on a daily basis for a few weeks, trying to ascertain the truth. We got to a point not based on a legal issue, but based on a trust issue, where the level of trust between the president and General Flynn had eroded to the point where he felt he had to make a change.
The White House insisted there was nothing illegal about phone conversations Flynn had with the Russian ambassador during the transition, even if the two had talked about sanctions. What cost Flynn his job was telling the vice president he'd never discussed sanctions, which Mike Pence promptly repeated on national TV.
I talked to General Flynn yesterday, and the conversations that took place at that time were not in any way related to new U.S. sanctions against Russia or the expulsion of diplomats.
The president was made aware of the phone calls when the Department of Justice called on January 26 to say Russia might have information with which to blackmail Flynn. The president turned the case over to White House counsel Don McGahn.
The White House counsel at that time undertook an extensive review, both of materials and questioning. I'm not going to get into the specifics. What I will tell you is on multiple occasions they had an exhaustive and extensive questioning of General Flynn on several occasions based on information that was provided to them or materials that were provided to them to review.
The White House would not divulge what evidence the counsel's office weighed to determine no legal wrongdoing on Flynn's part. While Republican leaders in Congress didn't comment on any legal issues, they said the president did the right thing.
I think the president made the right decision to ask for his resignation. You cannot have a national security advisor misleading the vice president and others. So I think the president was right to ask for his resignation, and I believe it was the right thing to do.
Democrats left to fan the flames of the controversy, arguing laws must have been broken, asking what did the president know and when did he know it, charging the White House and DOJ can't fairly investigate Flynn.
The White House counsel cannot lead this investigation, and the new Attorney General cannot be, Jeff Sessions, cannot be the person to lead that investigation.
As it wrestles with the public relations mess, the White House needs to find a replacement for Flynn. Sources say the leading candidate is retired Vice Admiral Robert Harward, a Navy SEAL who served as deputy commander of CENTCOM under General James Mattis. Harward went to the Tehran American School in Iran and speaks Farsi. During SEAL training, he was voted Honor Man, the candidate who inspires others to keep going when they would otherwise give up. Also on the list, General David Petraeus, whose past may be more problematic given what just happened with Flynn, and Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, the NSC Chief of Staff, who is now the acting National Security Advisor.
A short time ago, a senior administration official told me that the president has already spoken with Vice Admiral Harward twice. They spoke last Wednesday and again yesterday. And if you put that timeline together, that means that Harward was on the radar screen long before Flynn was fired. Senior administration officials said we just wanted to have our ducks in a row. And Fox News has also learned that while the White House was told about the DOJ's concerns with Lieutenant General Flynn on the 26th of January, the vice president did not learn about it until last Thursday, February the 9th. So it would seem, Brett, that he was clearly in the dark about what the reality was regarding those phone calls. Brett?
John Roberts, live on the North Lawn. John, thank you.